Hey, number ones, welcome to Metatron's Academy. Today we are adding an Italian to the fold, as we always do in this series, and we are reacting to a video published by Global Earth, very similar as a channel to World Friends. I don't know if they are related in any way, but anyways, the title is Mexico versus Argentina versus Spain versus Colombia versus Chile, Spanish differences. I want to see if, as an Italian, native Italian speaker, if I can tell the differences between all of these types of Spanish, if I can recognize what makes them different, and if maybe one type is harder than the other. Let's go. It's gonna be fun.
Because if you're in a bus, it's conductor, so he conduce. But if it's your dad, él maneja.
In Mexico, we will call it mouse.
Yeah, in Argentina it's mouse.
In English?
Yeah.
Oh, she's surprised, the Spanish girl. We say mouse in Italian too. I'll tell you the Italian word for this as well. Mouse, yeah, in English.
Yes.
Oh, we call it raton.
Raton? Really? The actual mouse? Oh, that's funny. If we were to call it, in Italian we have a word to mean mouse like that, and it's ratto. But ratto is like someone you find in the sewers, I guess. In Italian the word for mouse is topo. But no one would call it topo unless you're joking. I understand why they're laughing.
Well,
Hi.
now I know a little Spanish.
A little, and I know the Spanish has a different C, it makes the sound. That's it, that's all I've got
Very cool, very cool.
for you. So in English, we would say glasses.
In Mexico, we will say lentes.
In Argentina we would
Lentes, okay?
say anteojos.
In Spanish, we would say gafas.
In Colombia, we would also say gafas or lentes.
In Chile, we
Really?
say lentes, and if it's sunglasses, it's lentes de sol.
Okay, that's interesting. When it comes to glasses, in Italian, we say occhiali. So I guess the only one who's using because of the word occhio, which is eye, and I guess the only one that did this here is Argentinian Spanish. But if I heard the word anteojos, I wouldn't understand it. I would think like in front of the eyes, but I wouldn't understand that that means glasses. Gafas, I would not understand nor recognize. Lentes, however, I could, because lenti, lente, I mean, yeah, there is a word that is kind of similar. We don't use it for glasses. I think we only use it for maybe the one of the parts of a set of glasses.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like a mate.
Yeah, you're a man, and we have the same one,
Yeah,
right?
we have the same
Cool.
one.
Lentes.
Anteojos is for reading, but if you like sunglasses, it's lentes.
Okay, I see.
Lentes de sol.
Me, I would say
We would say occhiali da lettura.
gafas de sol. Yeah, lentes, we don't use it at all.
Really, in Spain.
I think we say gafas for everything. Like if it's for reading or if it's for sun or just normal glasses.
Gafas.
Yeah, gafas. I mean, we do have the word anteojos, but nobody really uses it. It's kind
Yeah.
of like fancy word, you know, like just like a medical term. Yeah, it's like I need to get your anteojos.
I absolutely understand that. I do get that feeling sometimes with foreign languages that are still within the Romance family group. Sometimes they'll use a word that to me, like I understand it, but it sounds either, as she's saying, like a technical term, or sometimes it just sounds archaic.
It's like for us, anteojos and gafas is a fancy word.
Oh,
We
really?
use just lentes.
Okay.
So in English, I would say drive.
In Mexico,
Yeah.
we will say manejar.
In Argentina it's the same, manejar.
In Spanish, we say conducir.
I think it depends on the part of the country. We say conducir or manejar.
In Chile, we use both, but manejar it's more common.
Very interesting. Okay, so of all of these, nothing sounds like Italian. That's so fun. In Italian, we say guidare, guidare, guidare la macchina, for instance, because macchina is car in Italian. We'll see if they say that. I think depending on the place will be carro or coche. In Italian, it's just macchina, which means machine, I understand, but that's how we say it. Manejar, I wouldn't recognize it. Conducir, I would recognize, because it's like to conduct. Because in Italian, someone like that drives a bus is a conducente. Only use it for bus drivers, really, because if it's a pilot, we say pilota, and if it's someone who drives a car around, we would say autista, from auto, which is another way, of course, to say car, automobile. But conducir, I could understand in context, yes.
And conducir, it's when the people do like professionally.
Right.
Like chauffeuring for people.
Do you say conductor?
Yes.
Okay, like driver, okay,
yeah,
conductor.
Because if you're in a bus, it's
And we say conducente.
conductor, so he conduce. But if it's your dad, él maneja.
In Spanish, if we say manejar, it means like you're taking care of something, like you're in charge of something.
Yeah, that's also the meaning.
Yeah.
Also, same meaning, but depends of the context. You can say that if you are like driving or you're like managing something.
Sounds kind of like you're manning the car. You could say like he's like in charge of like driving the ship,
Right.
right? Like you could say the same thing. It sounds very similar to,
Cool.
to that. So in English, we would say corn
Oh, I'm very interested for this one. Let's see how they say it, if it's similar to Italian.
or corn on the cob.
In Mexico, we'll say elote. Yeah, now that she say that corn in the cob is esquite or elote en vaso.
So in Argentina we say choclo,
Oh.
and popcorn is pochoclo.
In Spanish, we say maíz.
In Colombia, we say mazorca. And if we have it in like a cup or in like a plate, we would say mazorca desgranada.
In Chile, igual as Argentina, we say choclo. But
This is so interesting because I wouldn't recognize any but the European Spanish, because she say maíz and in Italian we say mais. So very similar to this. I wouldn't recognize any of the other. Choclo, elote, nothing. Mazorca, nothing.
the difference in a cup, we say cabritas.
El cabritas is not like the animal.
Too.
Oh, really? Cabritas? That sounds cute. We would say capretta, but has nothing to do with corn.
We have the same meaning for a lot of.
Oh my god, this is
Cool.
so
Nice.
different.
We know this is so different. It's like controversial.
But I didn't know the cabritas.
If I
Controversial.
have the whole corn thing,
But if you think that's controversial, let me tell you a thing or two.
we also call it mazorca, but then just the small pieces is just maíz.
We never use mazorca.
Would you guys have understood each other if you were talking about corn?
Say mi cabritas, no.
That's a very good question.
I would have.
100% no. Chocolate, you said?
But for
Never
example,
heard
the
that.
plant, it's maíz. Like the food itself
Yeah.
is like choclo.
I would have understood
Wow.
Chile and Argentina because we also have choclo, but that's like sweet corn. But we have like two types of corn. So for us, sweet corn is choclo, but in general, we just say mazorca. Interesting.
In English, we would
Aha.
say potato.
In Mexico,
She's adorable.
we'll say papa.
Yeah, in Argentina it's papa.
In Spanish, patata.
Colombia is also papa.
In Chile, it's papas.
It's so interesting. You want to know Italian? Italian is patata. Just like the Spain Spanish, it makes sense. I mean, we are geographically closer. Although oftentimes I do understand Argentinian more easily than other South American or Central American varieties, Northern American varieties, in fact, of Spanish, but such as Mexican, because Mexico's in North America. Yeah, you can be, you're like, no, Metatron is Central American. North America. If you say papas fritas, I would recognize it because it's famous. But out of context completely, if you tell me papa, I wouldn't know what that means. But patata, I would of course recognize immediately since it sounds the same.
Oh my god, I'm the outsider.
Papa also not mean dad?
Do you have an accent?
Different accent. Okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
papa without accent, it's potato. And with an accent, it's that.
And then
Yeah, in Italian. Oh, that's so interesting actually, because with an accent, papa, she says an accent because that's how we are taught, even in Italy, but basically she's talking about the stress. So if the stress falls at the end, papa, in Italian as well, that means dad. But if you say papa, it's the Pope in Italian. And it's actually funny because my wife is American and she's doing so well with her Italian, but she always gets confused with where the stress goes. So she 9 times out of 10 will call my dad Pope, which I mean.
Papitas.
Papas or papitas.
for me, patatas fritas. So
Very closely. We say patatine fritte. So we call them small potatoes. Patata, but you can say le patate fritte. Patata fria, you can say patata fritta if it's one, singular. And patate fritte. Absolutely.
it's like longer, like patatas fritas.
I think for us, patatas is like the sweet potato, isn't it?
No, that's patata.
Patata.
Yeah, I think she's wrong.
Sorry.
Camote.
For me, it's camote.
For me, it's camote also.
Yeah.
Or boniato.
Yeah, I know boniato.
It is that.
We would say patate dolci in Italian or patate americane.
That sounds like a chemical like ingredient or something.
Boniato?
Yeah.
Bicarbonato, that's the difference.
So in English, I would say that I am taking a shower or just like to take a shower.
In Mexico, we will say me voy a bañar.
We say ducha.
In Spain, it's same ducha for like shower and then bañar for bath.
Finally, one in common.
In Colombia, I think we also say me voy a bañar.
In Chile, we say me voy a duchar, but in certain parts of my country, bañar it's when you shower your hair. It's different. Like if you are just doing your body, it's like duchar, and if you're like take a shower with shampoo, it's bañar.
Interesting. In Italian we say fare la doccia. Quindi faccio una doccia, mi faccio una doccia. Sometimes you can do it in reflexive form. Yeah, fare la doccia. Basically we say to make a shower. And in England they say have a shower. So you can take a shower, you can have a shower, you can make a shower depending on the country.
If you say something like without the
Or more like do a shower, really.
hair, we call it like baño vaquero.
We call it baño de policía. Yeah, it's like super fast shower.
Lisa, that sounds like you're calling the police.
Yeah,
It
it's
does.
a police bath.
Why is it called like that?
Supposedly, like people in military or police, they need to shower super fast.
The PTA shower, we would say. Yeah. In English, we would say straw, or the long word is drinking straw.
In Mexico, we'll say
Oh.
popote.
In Argentina, we would say sorbete.
In Spain, we say pajita.
In Colombia,
Wow.
we say pitillo.
In Chile, we say bombilla.
Oh, you've got to be joking. They're all different. Well, in Italian we would say cannuccia. Cannuccia.
It's all different.
For me,
Unbelievable.
bombilla, it's the one that is from like the lights.
In Argentina, bombilla is the one for the mate.
Yes, in the south.
Interesting. Double L in Argentina, they pronounce it like a sh, bombisha. Whereas the other girls are saying bombilla, so double L more like a y. So I imagine the Argentinian would read pitillo instead of pitillo.
Of the Chile too, but for us, pajita, it's a bad word. We don't use that one. Like,
I
Really?
heard that before.
It's not a good word. Don't learn it.
Maybe it's a bit like between British English and American English. If you have a bloody nose, in America it's how you say it, I guess. But in England it sounds like you're swearing against your nose. So you say, I have a nosebleed.
in Latin America, it's not a good word. But we got it.
I could explain more, but I will not explain more because
In English, we would say hot dog.
In Mexico, we also will say hot dog.
In Argentina, we would say pancho.
in Spain we say perrito caliente.
What?
In
Oh,
Colombia,
they
we
translate it little hot dog, pretty much, doesn't it?
also say perrito caliente. O perro caliente.
In Chile, we say completo.
Completo, full, complete.
In Colombia, we also say perrito caliente. O perro caliente.
In Chile, we say completo.
Okay, so in Italian we say hot dog. So we use the English word, but we do not add an aspiration to the H because generally standard Italian and the majority of Italian regional languages and dialects as well do not have any aspiration whatsoever. The only exception being some areas in Tuscany where they do have an aspiration, but not with the H. They have it with the C. So there's that.
Because it has everything inside. Not like the American hot dogs, we have the completo has variations, but the normal is like with tomato, with avocado, and with mayonnaise.
That sounds very good.
Yeah, I'm hungry now.
Yeah, that's like our perro caliente, but it's like
For me, hot dog is literally like perrito caliente is literally just the sausage, maybe onion, cheese, and that's it. And then the ketchup and mustard. And then completo is if we eating a sandwich and it has everything inside. Lettuce, like literally everything you can imagine.
No, in my country, completo is just when you have a sausage. If you have
Really?
another type
Then it's not complete.
of meat, other.
Oh, I
For
see.
me, usually chicken when it's completo or like lomo.
Really?
You know, lomo like pork. Yeah.
What type of hot dogs you have in the restaurant?
These are very fancy hot dogs.
in my city they're crazy. Like actually my city is really popular for different styles of hot dogs. So they have like Hawaiian,
Oh, she's gonna say I need to hear that word.
Italian.
Thank you. This video is completo. Alright, let's give him a like. This was a fun episode. As always with my React content, I don't react to the entire episode as to encourage people to click the link in the description or the pinned comment to go and finish the episode if you enjoyed what you saw. Anyways, that was fun to add the Italian perspective, which was different to everything, which is, I mean, it is a different language at the end of the day. But I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. See you tomorrow.